Hi English students, this is Mrs. Peacock, and at this point we need to look at the research paper. This research paper is open topic, so that means you get to choose the topic that you're writing about. So some students love that because you have that creative freedom to choose a topic you genuinely want to know more about, so there's infinite possibilities. But other students that are less decisive do struggle with that because there's also infinite possibilities. So if you need help choosing a topic, please feel free to email me or call or stop by the office. I'm happy to brainstorm some ideas with you. But really, it's based off what you truly are interested in. So if you're interested in history, you may want to research a historical era or historical person. If you like science, it could be that you're researching a scientific theory or something that you're just interested in learning more about. So it just depends on your favorite subjects, your favorite things that you want to research. But what's great about an open topic is you really are researching something you genuinely want to know more about versus me just assigning a topic that I want to know more about. A research paper requires outside sources of information, so that could be books, articles, videos, interviews, etc. I'm not worried so much about the type of source as long as it's a reliable source. And a reliable source is one that's been fact-checked. It's one that is truly accurate. And so if you're not sure if a source is reliable, feel free to ask or send me the link to the website or a description of the source, and I'll be happy to either help you cite it or help you determine if it's reliable enough. But you're using these outside sources to fully argue a stance on a particular topic. Every source that is utilized must have both an in-text citation attached to the sentence that has the source information. So that would be if the author's last name is Bowden and the quote came from page 45, it would be Bowden 45, and a citation on the works cited page. So for those of you that have done research papers, the works cited page should look familiar, but there's one on page 199 in your Siegel textbook. This is an example. Of course, it's a really long works cited page, so yours won't necessarily be this long, but it's a really good one to use to guide you through what a citation should look like. Notice citations are not just website links. If you copy and paste website links, you will get docked for that because a complete citation would list things like the author, the title, the date it was published, if it's a website, the link, and really it's determined by what source you're using on what is within the citation. So there's example citations throughout your book, but let me know if you need help citing something. And an in-text citation is when you give credit to the particular source within the sentence. So notice on page 154, there's some examples that have both the signal phrase McCullough, which is the author at the beginning, and the page number, or you could put it at the end. McCullough 18, the second example has that. If you don't know the author, which is common on websites especially, page 156 has the author unknown example. And notice if you don't know the author, you put the title of the article or essentially the citation's title within that in-text citation. So if you're not sure how to do in-text citation or your works cited page, please let me know. I'm happy to guide you through that process. So it must have a citation on the works cited page. This research paper must include at least 2 outside sources. That's your minimum. So if you do find 3 or 4 or 5 sources, of course you can have more than that, but you must have at least 2 outside sources. Students are not allowed to turn in essays written for other courses, and the use of AI to write is also forbidden. So don't be tempted to turn in that research paper you turned in your senior year or for another English course, because we're going to run it through plagiarism checker, so I'll know if you've turned in the same paper. Also, AI is forbidden, so if you do have any questions about that, please let me know. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. This rough draft is going to be due Monday, June 17th by midnight in discussions. And just like we did with the first essay, that descriptive narrative, you'll have a chance to peer review each other's rough drafts and give each other feedback on ways to improve your essay to revise. The final draft submission date is Wednesday, June 26th by midnight, and you'll turn that in the week 6 content folder. This paper is worth 30% of your final grade, so it does carry the most weight of any of your essays. This research paper should be at least 800 words in length, and that does count your works cited page. So longer than your other essays, which are typically around 500 words, but not so long that it should be overwhelming. I want this to be a good practice research paper for your future classes, but I don't want you to get overwhelmed on the amount of work. So I did about 800 words. And make sure you meet the 800 words. If you go over, that's fine as well. Like I said, the works cited page does count towards that word count, and so do your in-text citations. But definitely don't go below 800 words. The formatting should be 12 point Times New Roman font, double space with MLA heading and style. So that's the same as your first essay, that descriptive narrative. And just as a reminder, page 192 has that really good example of how an MLA formatted paper should look. Notice it's double spaced with that heading. But this one must have a works cited page. So it's not a research paper without a works cited page. So here's an example works cited page on page 199. And like I said, if you have any questions about how to create a works cited page, please let me know. But notice it is at the end of the paper, at the top of the last page, not underneath the conclusion. And it starts with the title works cited, and your citations are in alphabetical order and double space with the hanging indent. I do have that final draft late submission rule, which is 10 points off every day late. And all your final drafts are going to be graded using the same grading rubric that's on the Getting Started page and will be scanned with anti-plagiarism software. And I have a spot here where you can write out some ideas, but you're not required to brainstorm. It's just an option. So at this point, I'm going to show you guys some cool ways to find reliable sources. That's actually through Wallace's library. So if you go to wallace.edu and go to the tab Campus Life and Resources, this one right here. And then if you scroll here, you see library. Our library has databases you can use to find resources that are all reliable sources, and they even cite them for you. So LRC databases is where you'll want to go next. And once you click databases, you can go to the Alabama Virtual Library, and a lot of high schoolers have used the AVL before, so you may be familiar with it. Once you get in here, you go to college and university, and then you can scroll through. You see there's so many database options, and a lot of them are specific to like medical or science or other genres, but I'm going to recommend EBSCOhost, and that's EBSCO host, because it has just really good general information. And notice here, this is where you search, just like with Google, you have a search box. I'm going to look at William Shakespeare because he's one of my favorites, just to show you how it looks once you've searched. So notice, of course, you've got all these different sources, but once you click into one, I'm going to show you this really cool thing. So of course it's got a description of what the source is about. That's helpful to save time to make sure that this is an actual source you want to use. But right here, we've got a citation tool. You guys don't know how lucky you are, because we did not have this back in my day. So here you see there's an MLA 9th edition. You can literally copy and paste this for your works cited page. And these sources are all fact checked, so you know they're reliable. So I'd highly recommend checking out EBSCOhost. Also on here, there's one other feature I want to show you guys. You can email the source to yourself. So that's really nifty. So you don't have to print out everything, but you can email to your personal email or Wallace email. So that way you have access to it later on. EBSCOhost is the only one I want us to take a look at. Gale Power Search is also really helpful. Let's see, here it is, Gale Power Search. And it's similar to EBSCO, where it just has really cool information. I'm gonna look up Edgar Allan Poe because he's one of my favorites as well. Here he is. Just to see what all they have on our friend Poe. All right, so, this is really cool. Whodunit, the murder of Edgar Allan Poe solved at last. He died under mysterious circumstances, so I'm intrigued. So on here, instead of a citation tool on the side, the citations are always at the bottom of the article. See? And it even defaults to MLA 9th edition. So you can also copy and paste this. For those in-text citations, notice whatever the citation starts with is what goes in the parentheses. So for this one, it would be nickel. based off whatever page you find your quote. You can say here it's on page 14 plus. So say if it's at the beginning of the article, you could put nickel and 14 in your in-text citation. So we've done 2 databases. I also want us to take a look at the ebook collection that Wallace's Library has access to. They've got a ton of ebooks, 150,000 ebooks that are all really helpful. Let's do Martin Luther King. He's another great source or great subject. Luther King. All right, let's see. So you just want to know more about the history of it. Here's an ebook. Notice this also has a good description. This will save you time as you're clicking through these books. But the citation tool is on the side for this one, similar to EBSCOhost. And you just scroll down to MLA. But it's just super easy to use, and I wanted you guys to know that you've got resources at your use that are free resources that'll help you get through this research paper. If you do have any questions, don't forget to check in with me, or we also have a fantastic writing center with tutors that can help you research as well. And I'm happy to help at any point. Thanks. Have a good day.